This is just AMZN on Wednesday, March 25th, 2020. Taking a look at the daily, and we had a really nice hammer yesterday, right below this channel line. And then today we actually closed below it, which is not very bullish. I will say that if we do somehow get a gap up and open up above all of this, I mean, we can really start to run like this kind of fast running. I just don't know that that's going to happen tomorrow or over the next couple of days. But once we do get above these upper wicks, once we really get above like 1960 area here, there's not that much holding it back until we get quite a bit further up here. I never even put some lines on here on the daily. I think they're down on the 5-minute, but for some reason they're not coming through here, and I haven't figured it out yet. But we're not up there right now. One thing I do want to point out about back up there is these two candles right here. They kind of look similar to these two candles right here. So if we gap up, then we're kind of looking different. If we gap down, well, do we start doing something like this? Further down, do we do something like that? Entirely possible. I have no idea. We're just going to kind of have to wait and see. This is a really good consolidation. This is like the most sideways we've gone in a couple of weeks. And you can see what happened last time we had a hammer and we gapped down and went further down. We went further down the next time. So, I just turned off the highlight. Hang on, let me turn it back on. If Zoom will cooperate. All right, let's see here. Okay, so these two look like these two, so look like these two. And so, I mean, it kind of happens. Like, even you could say these two, where you've got a bearish candle following a hammer. This is less of a hammer, but still, it's kind of like it. This is a bearish candle following inverted hammer. Here's the opposite. Here's an upside down hammer and a bullish candle. So, I mean, you can keep going back and looking at these kind of things that are pairs of candles, but I would say that after each of these, we went further down recently. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm kind of leaning that way. So we're just going to have to wait and see. If we open way down here, I would actually look for a retracement. I would look for it to bounce and then roll down. This one, again, being opposite, this one went higher. So I'm just looking at what's happened before in the recent history, which, again, come on, will it let me undo? There we go. I've circled 5 of them. I've circled 4 that have happened in the past, and I've got the current pair circled. Each one has gone lower. Now, it's not a guarantee. Like I said, it's going to continue that way, but what recent history has told us 4 times now, it's going to go lower. It's just a matter of what's going to happen then. Are we going to go lower and bounce? Or are we going to go lower and really continue lower? I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll keep doing some more videos and we'll figure it out as it happens and make some plans for that. So, all right, switching over to the 5-minute here. I'm zoomed out quite a bit. I just wanted to do this. Again, I had this channel on my chart from like last week, and I didn't do this, but I showed you the numbers yesterday and the day before's videos. If you take this same channel and you just move it over here, and I'm just going to line up the top edge line with the one I just copied. Sorry. Okay. So these two lines are lined up. Now the top here has been duplicated and becomes the bottom, and the bottom has now been moved over here. Look what it shows us. Okay. I'm going to zoom in on this. Look what it shows us in here. It's kind of pointing to, hey, 1900. That's a really nice level. Couldn't quite get there earlier in the day. This was actually, a bearish gap. Sort of. It's kind of weird to look at like this and be like, wait, we closed here and we gapped down right here. It's just where the candles are at. So this was the close. We got way up here again, not quite up to 1996, not quite up to 2000. Came all the way back down here and actually opened right down here. Ran up, ran down, had a nice hammer here, nice hammer here, nice hammer here, continued to bounce. couldn't get going back above 1925. I mean, technically you did a little bit. But I'll show you this in a little bit. What's really interesting is I'll show you the trade that I didn't take today. But the trade that I was taking in here yesterday and did a lousy job exiting up here with the 2000 strike call yesterday, the 2000 strike call, you could have taken that same setup here. And again, I was trying to get out at 18. Or I could have, let me say it again. I could have gotten at 18. I moved it up to 24 and missed getting out at 18. But I could have set it up at 17. I could have gotten out at 17, like on this candle or this candle, and didn't, and I should have. But that same entry of 10 and stop at 9 worked again over here with puts, and they're the 1850 puts. Same setup. Get in at 10, get out at 9. I'm sorry, get in at 10, stop at 9, target at 17. Totally worked again here, and I'll show you that in the options. It's really cool. Just a different option, different direction, different option, same stock. Just really cool. So anyway, we just kind of started doing this channeling thing yesterday. We were channeling between 1925 and I'm going to say the 1900 zone. So 1925, yeah, I'm discounting this. But once you got below 1925, you went down to the zone. You didn't quite make it all the way back up. Very true. Came back down, pretty much held the zone, slightly lower low than this low. Came back up to 1925, rolled down, came back up. So you did like a double bottom thing here. That was bad. Let me clear this. You did like a double bottom thing here and did go higher. And then you did like a double top thing here and then went lower. That's all it was today. Really nice, quiet day. Still had a lot of movement, still had a lot of opportunities. This is the opportunity on the 2000 strike call. Put a really nice long base right around $4. So 4x3 would have been a great entry. I don't know if it would have filled you over here. Low was 4, but seeing this as a hammer and knowing, okay, we've been looking at these. Let's get in with the round numbers, 4x3. It held that as a low, 4x3. The very next 5-minute candle possibly would have been filled. Now, if it doesn't fill you and it's going sideways here and it's like, it's still not filling me. Okay, we'll do like 425 by like 325. Just move it in a little bit. And if that doesn't fill and you still like the setup, 450 by 350, you know, because it's holding $4 now instead of just the 3. And then you're getting out. Where could you have gotten out? Well, right through here, 1925. So where is it 1925? Anywhere in like this area. So you're getting out like 7 or 8. So getting in at, let's even call it 5, just for easy numbers. Get in at 5, get out at 7. That's 2R. Done. Okay, moving on. 1850 puts. The 1850 puts came down, put a low early on the day, and bounced around quite a bit. I just want to focus on this end of the day trade, and I'll show you why. So I was looking at this right at 2:30, and I was in a meeting, and then I was going to be in another meeting and presenting just like a few minutes later. I'm like, I can't set this up and like be sure I can get out of it as a day trade within like the last 30 minutes. I'm like, I shouldn't enter this trade. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to get in 10 by 9 because it was right in this range, 10 by 9, right at 2:30. It was holding this $10 price really well, like just sitting right here. Probably could have gotten a better fill if I did 10 by 9 as a limit buy just before 2:30, and then gotten a fill here, maybe a little bit less as it pulled back. That would have been great. But if you waited after that 5-minute candle, you kind of missed out because it started to run up. It's really interesting here, the volume. There were 7 contracts on this 5-minute candle. Then there were 63, 74, 94, back down a little bit to 52, and then ending the day at 92. I mean, you were in ahead of all of these people over here getting in bullish here. So it gives you more confidence that I can hold this a little longer because more people are getting in after me. They waited for confirmation to get in above this high of 1125. And then more people were getting in above this high because they're waiting for confirmation. Instead of looking at it and be like, hey, we got a really nice low down here at like 9. We held that again here. Let's say that still holds and get in 10 by 9. Same kind of setup, my favorite setup, 10 by 9. And let it go. And then you're getting out at 17, which is the previous highs. You know, just like what I should have done yesterday over here. I got in 10 by 9, should have gotten out at, I said 17. This was 18. That area. I moved it up at 18. Probably should have just left it, at 18 or moved it down to 17. But I'm saying the prices that I talked about yesterday give you the same opportunity today, same prices, just a different option. Because, I don't know, maybe sometimes things are similar to another day and they just move similarly on Amazon, up or down. Let's see if today's prices, let's see if we can find something that gave us an entry 10 by 9. So let's move down to the 1950 calls, see what those did. Okay, these are still a little bit expensive. Yeah, a little more expensive, 1055. Okay, so we're close. Let's look at 1960. Now, these are going to be a little lighter volume, but, well, that's cool. Look what we just found. And really, I didn't look this up ahead of time. I've gotten very familiar with how Amazon moves, and sometimes it's a matter of just finding the option. So it put in a low of 970 at 1110. 1110, what was it doing? Let's zoom in on the day. 1110, it was right here. So it did, all right, hang on. Let me draw it. So it put in like this double hammer thing here. It did kind of like a double bottom. And I wouldn't call this a neckline, definitely not. But something's kind of changing here. You're making some higher lows. You're compressing with the 21. And you're starting to poke above it. So you got a wick above it. Now you got a candle above it, another candle above it. And now you got a run above it. Well, at 1110, it's right here. It's making this low. And you can draw this trend line between just these two, or I've covered it all up with my drawing. You can go like that, or like, if I could draw straight. I need like a ruler. I should get like a ruler to hold the mouse against when I'm doing this. It's not even a straight line. Oh, okay. You can draw a straight line better than I can probably on your chart. Or you know what? Let me go back to the chart. I'm drawing with Zoom, and I'm very bad at drawing with Zoom. Straight lines, I should say. Okay, like that. There, I connected it. That works. I'm just laughing at what I'm trying to do, and it's just a squiggly line, and it's just not working. Okay, extend to the right. There you go. Now, if you drew this between this candle and this candle and said, well, I want to get in on one of these times it pulls back to that because it looks like it could do it again. Sure, okay, 1110, 1115. And then over here, it does it with a really nice hammer here at 1155. Let's go back and look at 1110, 1115, 1155 and see what values we had on these lows. So 1110, 1115. So this was 970, 10 was the low. And then, was it 1055? I already forgot. 3 things I have to remember. 1155. Okay. 1155 over here is a low of 13. So just like we had yesterday, where the 2000 strike, it put in this base at 10, and then it started moving in our favor when the stock was barely moving. Now, in this case today, it actually did move 5 bullish candles in a row. It was moving up, then it went sideways, but you're getting better option prices in your favor before it's really had a big move. So there's plenty of room for this to go from this line all the way up to 1925. What's really interesting is this line catches another hammer here and another hammer here that then breaks down. We retest. All I did was connect these 2 lows roughly. And I have the setup for the end of the day bearish. That's technical analysis. It's working. And then I have the confluence of this zone and this second channel, this channel and this zone that I'm going to aim for as my target. So obviously this line, we're not going to carry it out forever. We're not going to continue to run up that. But you can see there were opportunities to buy off that low. So let's even look at this one, 105. If you're buying at 105, what happens? 105, 105, right here. If you were buying at 105, could you have exited higher? Yes. Okay, let's look at one more. This one. It comes down here. You don't know what's going to break down in the next candle. You only have here. There we are. Right here. It's 125 right now, or maybe it's like 122 as it's pulling back there. I don't know. 125. 125. Okay. Even at 125, the low here is 1645. Could you have exited higher? Yeah, after a pullback, yes. But still, it would have worked to buy that low because later you could have gotten higher. Now, I'm not talking about risk. I'm not talking about anything beyond just buying somewhere and selling somewhere. So I'm not saying buy here and risk way down here. I mean, if your R is that size, great, you can do that. But I'm not saying buy here with $100 risk because you're going to get stopped out. This is too late. You're essentially too late. I'm just showing that you can draw one of these channels. I'm sorry, you can draw one of these trend lines and you can be buying off of it. And sometimes it just works. Sometimes it doesn't. This was one of those times that it worked to buy here and sell later. It did not work to buy here and set your $100 stop because you would have been stopped out. This is buying too late. This is probably buying too early because you're calling the bottom. This one, you're still calling that double bottom, but you have an opportunity to buy the same price here over here. And this is where I like to buy. I don't want to hold through all of this. Oops. Not what I meant to do. I don't want to hold through all this, waiting for 45 minutes or an hour for it to do something. Because all of that time, it was basing. It was putting in the $10 low. Now, yes, it went from 10 to 12 a couple of times in here. But I want the bigger moves. I want to wait for that to base. And right before it's going to start going in my favor, that's when I want to get in. That's the faster, quicker gain, So anyway, this is a setup. You could have gotten in at 10, stop at 9, and exited at 17, even 18. Again, just like yesterday, just like this one, 10 by 9, up to 17, 18. This had resistance here. Today's on the bullish move with 1960. It had $18 resistance here. Going back to the 2000 strike. So I'm not just pulling these names out of the air, or I'm sorry, pulling these numbers out of the air. So this one getting at 18, we got upper wicks here, resistance at 18. I'm just trying to point to, hey, we can find it in different options, the same setup, or at least very similar setup, 10 by 9, target of 17. I've just shown you 3 of them, target of 17, target of 18. That's a 7R trade or an 8R trade just by getting in after you're letting it base, after you're letting some of the indecision play out at these pivots. Did you notice that this was off of a support zone? This was off a resistance zone. And then back to yesterday, this was off of a support zone. So I'm playing these prices. I'm playing these pivot lines. Now, yesterday I played it for a gain and that worked. And then today I didn't do any day trades. But looking back at the opportunities, definitely an opportunity. Definitely opportunity. Same setup, 10 by 9. So, yeah. It's really cool to look back and see this kind of stuff. So I'm going to take this one off because that's not going to play out. If we're going to get going higher, we need to keep this channel intact and keep going up. Right now, we just changed lanes from this one that we were following for days here. You know, we just followed this channel for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Okay, 4.5 days because we broke down. Then we changed channels, and we're below this one, but we didn't come down to make a low here until really we came into it today. So I'm going to still say that we've been in this range for 1, 2, 3 days. Could we go to the next one, go down further? Sure. I'm not seeing a clear triangle yet. I'm always looking for triangles for it to consolidate. I thought I saw a little bit of one. I was trying to draw it before when I was getting things set up. This is starting to draw a triangle like that. I don't like that one. This one's a little bit tight. I don't really like that one. Let's go up to 30 and see if there's anything else in a 30-minute. Nothing gets drawn in on a 30-minute. Let's go up to an hourly and see if anything gets sketched in for us, just kind of popping in that kind of pattern now. Not really seeing a triangle. The highs are I mean, it's really big if you're going to say this is a triangle and you've got just slightly lower highs. That means we're going to be going sideways for like 5 more days. I don't know that that's going to happen. If it does, great. But there's nothing like this is really slightly lower lows here. I'm sorry, lower highs here. And then where's the low? I mean, is this going to have the same steepness going way out? There's nothing down here yet until maybe this comes down. And will it really hold that? Could it hold, 1841.30? I don't know. I'm not really seeing the triangle yet. I'll let you know when I do, because I think that's helpful. For right now, though, just looking at this, we've been hanging out up here. This is a great resistance to get above, get a good strong gap up above and a close up above to continue higher. In the meantime, though, like we could really channel like this. We could come all the way back down to 1815 and do some little more channeling or make a bigger double top and then go lower. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So, I don't know. For tomorrow, we're down here a little bit. We had a really big sell-off at the end of the day. If we even move above that, we're going to trap a lot of bears. A lot of volume here. I don't know if this looks like a lot of bullish volume, people buy in here, but it normally does that at the end of the day. Like yesterday was a lot more, right? That's a volume wick way up, or a volume spike way up here. This one here, today's was a little bit lower. So I'm just looking at the volumes at the end of the day. You can't see now because I zoomed in too far. There's this one here, right here, and then this one's way up here, and this one's way down here again. So a little bit of different volume. Yesterday was higher, today was a little lower. So I'm not taking that really much into consideration. I'm just trying to figure out where these candles go. And right now we're just bouncing back and forth between 1900 and 1925. It's a much quieter day, much smaller range day. Today was $64 and yesterday was $54. So we actually made a little bit bigger move today, but a lot smaller candles than the last like 6 days here, So things quieted down. We're staying in the upper end of this range. We're currently above the 21. This is the first time we've had a couple closes above the 21 since we were up here. So, if we rest a little bit more, we've interacted with this before where we've come down into the 21. So let's see if we can find something coming down to the 21. Okay, here's another time where we were selling back down, got above the 21 for a little bit, right under this channel, and just chopped her out even longer. Entirely possible. We could rest some more. Here, we stayed above it here and continued on to make some more highs. That's not as much of a pullback. Let's go back over in here. Okay, we consolidated here above the 21. Didn't really stay above it here. Got above it here, moved up higher, came back down. Here's something I haven't done in a bit. I'm going to copy this, duplicate, and just see if anything matches up with this right now. Nope, no way. Nothing. It's just way too steep still. Nothing really lines up with that. Okay, we got a long ways to go until we get into one of those clear downtrend. I mean, the range on this looks similar, here to here and here to here, but I don't know so much to make on that yet. So let's see how things turn out the rest of this week, and then maybe we can draw some more of those in and see if we're mapping out something. But yeah, keep an eye on options. Find the option that works for you. I just showed you the 2000 strike that we did yesterday, and then the 1960 strike that would have worked today, and then I just showed you the 1850 strike for the puts this time rather than calls that would have worked today if I had not been about to get into a meeting. So and been presenting. If I'm sitting in a meeting, I don't mind putting out a trade. It's just if I can't, if I'm not sure that I can get away from it and take care of the trade how I need to for a day trade, there's no point in me getting in because I don't want to leave that risk in this market. I don't want to leave a day trade risk on overnight. That can be irresponsible. So anyway, hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.